Hey everybody, my name's Paul. I'm one of the co-founders of the Whysmen Virtual Pub, sitting here with one of my other co-founders, Steve Savides, who has been instrumental in getting this project on the ground. Steve and I have been working together for quite a while. So this pub we meet, it's for men to come, to drop in, to share. All the meetings are confidential. And if you check the posts here, you'll know that there are 5 individual meetings that you can join at different times throughout the week. The times are set, and the meetings are all 30 minutes. And we are a community of men in service to men, so there's no cost to participate. The only cost is your willingness to participate. So I just want to introduce my friend Steve here. He's going to talk a little bit about him, his background, and then we're going to talk about something that's very important, which is the work we are doing on Fatherli. And Fatherli is a meeting that's hosted once a week. It's every Tuesdays, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 in Europe, and in the afternoon in North America, I think it's like 2:30 or so. So everyone's welcome no matter where you are to join. So I'm going to flip it over to Steve. Hey, Steve, tell us a little about you, men's work, our relationship, whatever you want to say.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. I really appreciate you having me on. As usual, it's really great working with you. And yes, to the men out there, I've been involved in different aspects of community work pretty much my entire life, and then transitioned to very specifically men's work in 2020 during the first lockdown, and that's where I met Paul right about that time. And while I'd been working with men and had done some men's work, this was a work that was really focused on men and what they need. And, you know, men are really underrepresented in the world. Men tend to get the sharp end of the stick, I think, in the world. And, you know, that affects us in our mental health. It affects us in our work, in the way that we show up, in the way that we parent, in the way that we partner. And I think it's almost like being a man is a dirty word sometimes. And so, you know, what Paul and I discussed with a group of other men is to create spaces where men can just come and be men and hear from other men, be heard, and speak freely. And one of the things that we find is men don't often have all the vocabulary that they need in order to express themselves. They are stifled in the way that they are able to express their emotions. You know, typically the only emotion that a man is really allowed to express, and we talk, this is a generalization, but is anger. And well, it's the only emotion that they're allowed to have, and they're not really allowed to express it. So a man can be angry, but heaven forbid if he actually says that he's angry, because then all of a sudden everyone's scared of him. And if a man starts to get in contact with deeper feelings and emotions, often he doesn't have the word for that. You know, so if you ask a man how you doing, he might say, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm okay. Maybe he's stretched to glad. But when you start going into deeper access of the emotions, you start to get into I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed, I'm scared, I'm vulnerable, I'm lonely. And a lot of men have those feelings. Most men, you know, share those things. And so, you know, that's one aspect of the men's work. And then there's an aspect of encouragement. You know, men are taught generally around the world, again, this is a generalization, but it's pretty global. You know, we have to be strong, we have to be courageous, you know, we have to always show up, we have to be right, we have to be the provider. Often we're not wanted if we're not doing something that's seen as valuable, or we're not you know, providing something. And so again, I think that men really, like I said in the beginning, have ended up with the short, sharp end of the stick. And so, yeah, the work became online. Again, over the years, I've done a lot of in-person work, and that continues, and really work with men around lots of different things, around their body, stress, resilience, sexuality, intimacy, relationships, how to communicate, dealing with challenge, dealing with conflict. But this online work is really powerful because it means that men can be where they are. So it's a bit about the men's work. And then with Fatherli, that was founded by a woman called Dr. Mia Eisenstadt, and she's a mother and a parent, and really sees the need that men have. And because she's a psychologist, she really understands this work really deeply. And so I've been partnering with her in how we bring some of that men's work to fathers. And so Fatherly is focused on doing exactly everything that I've just described, but in the realm for fathers. And then when I'm a father of 3 boys, they're now grown men, but dads have another issue. And then kids are facing so many things in this world that we're facing today, which we won't get into, but we're always happy to talk about that. Sometimes, again, fathers feel isolated and alone and ill-equipped to really face the challenges of being a father. So we're delighted to bring this work out, and I'm really excited to work with Paul. Like I say, it's been just about 4 years of working with Paul. He's an enthusiastic, passionate, generous, kind-hearted man, and I really appreciate him. Thanks, Paul.
Hey, thanks, Steve. And we look forward to seeing you in this Fatherly space, which is our meeting that's on Tuesdays. And if you go on the website, you'll see a link to the Fatherly webpage, and you can access, they have an app. So there's, I think, 2,000 men on this app. There's lots of learning on there. So Fatherly is basically app driven. So it's an app environment. We are the face-to-face arm that Steve's running. So we provide both. So it's just a wonderful resource that you may want to participate in. And there's no cost to do that. We're just here to, help dads out, help men out, and help hopefully connect men globally to conversations that matter, which is what Steve came up with. So Steve's responsible for the mission, worth every penny, Steve, because it really focuses on what we're trying to do. It's belonging to something where you can have a conversation. So thanks again. And we look forward to seeing some men here. So come on in. We've got a table here for you. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.